Vishnu Yantram and Om Namo Narayanaya. When life feels shaky and your emotions go up and down, there is a way to bring everything back to peace, the protective order of Lord Vishnu. Ancient sages showed that we can connect to his power not only by prayer but also through sacred geometry and sound. That is the secret of the Śrī Vishnu Yantra and the Om Namo Narayanaya mantra. Together, they reduce confusion, protect dharma or right living, and bring lasting peace. The living blueprint of balance, Śrī Vishnu Yantra. The Śrī Vishnu Yantra is more than a picture, it is a holy design that represents Lord Vishnu. Every line, triangle, and lotus petal holds his steady, preserving energy. At the center is a tiny point called the Bindu, the start of creation. Around it is a six-pointed star showing balance between Pūjā, the spirit, and Prakriti, nature. A ring of 16 lotus petals spreads calm and prosperity, connected to the blessings of Lakṣmī Devi. The outer square acts like a protective wall, keeping the space peaceful and balanced.
This video is meant for informational purposes only. One must not take up the practices unless guided by an authorized guru from an authentic Parampara system. This video is only meant to spread knowledge about yantras and various chants that have the capabilities to transform an individual for the better.
Why devotees keep it at home? Where the Śrī Vishnu Yantram is placed, the entire vibration of the home begins to change. The space feels calmer, thoughts become lighter, and the atmosphere gains a quiet purity that invites peace. The best directions to install the Vishnu Yantram are the east and northeast corners of the house, known as Ācamana and Purvadik. These directions are filled with sattva, purity and light, and are ruled by Lord Vishnu himself. When the rising rays of the morning sun touch the yantra, they naturally activate its sacred geometry, spreading harmony through the entire home. When kept in these auspicious zones, the yantra acts like a silent purifier. It balances the unseen vibrations that cause emotional unrest. Anger slowly fades because the fiery energy in the Maṇipūra chakra, navel region, finds equilibrium through the cooling, water-based geometry of the yantra, especially the 16-petaled lotus around the center. This lotus radiates calmness and patience, gently cooling the mind's restlessness. Instead of reacting with heat or irritation, the devotee begins to respond with understanding and softness. In the same way, lust and excessive desires also begin to settle. The downward pointing triangle within the Vishnu Yantram symbolizes Prakriti, the creative feminine energy. When meditated upon, this triangle transforms raw passion into devotional love, desire becomes dedication, and attraction turns into surrender. The yantra redirects the life force or prana upward, nourishing the heart and higher centers instead of feeding lower impulses. By meditating on the Śrī Vishnu Yantram, the seeker's consciousness starts reflecting the qualities of Bhagavan Vishnu: stability, compassion, and peaceful awareness. Thoughts slow down, emotions find rhythm, and one begins to see life with detachment yet deep care. The yantra silently trains the mind to flow in divine order or rita, just as Lord Vishnu sustains the cosmos with perfect balance. Over time, the yantra becomes more than a sacred object, it becomes a living companion. It steadies the restless mind, calms the anxious heart, and renews faith when life feels uncertain. In the quiet presence of this divine geometry, Lord Vishnu works invisibly, bringing patience where there was anger, purity where there was desire, and lasting grace where there was confusion. How the yantra is activated? Before placing the Śrī Vishnu Yantram, the devotee must understand that it is not just a symbol to be worshipped, it is a doorway to divine consciousness. The key that unlocks this doorway is the Guru's consciousness. When the yantra is touched or awakened under the guidance of a realized Guru, it begins to resonate with the same spiritual current that flows through the Guru's inner being. This process is known as Prāṇa-Pratiṣṭhā, the infusion of living energy into sacred geometry. The Guru acts as the bridge between the visible and the invisible, between form and formlessness. It is through his or her awareness that the subtle intelligence of Bhagavan Vishnu recognizes the yantra as a vessel for descent. Without this connection, the yantra remains like a beautiful instrument that has not yet been tuned. But when the Guru's saṅkalpa or spiritual intention is invoked, the yantra begins to breathe. it becomes conscious, alive, and receptive to divine vibration. During this sacred act, the Vishnu Gayatri and seed mantras like Om Vam Vasudevaya Namaha and Om Klim Narayanaya Namaha are chanted. Each sound activates a specific aspect of Sri Narayana's energy, preservation, compassion, patience, and order. The chanting, combined with the Guru's inner current, fills the yantra's geometry with Shakti, transforming it from ink into a living field of consciousness. The parampara or lineage plays an essential role here. The power of the yantra does not arise from individual effort alone. It flows through the unbroken stream of realized beings who have held and transmitted the Vishnu Tattva for ages. Their cumulative grace keeps the channel pure. When a sadhaka meditates on the yantra within this lineage, he is not meditating on an object, he is meditating through the yantra, entering the living field of Śrī Vishnu's awareness that the parampara has preserved. When a small ghee diya is lit before the yantra and the devotee chants with love and surrender, the yantra begins to respond. Its geometry vibrates with subtle light, harmonizing with the heart of the meditator. Over time, the boundaries between the sadhaka, the yantra, and the Lord begin to dissolve, and what remains is pure Vishnu consciousness, still radiant and all-preserving grace, embodied in sacred form. Vishnu Yantra and the flow of Dharma. When a devotee begins to meditate on the Śrī Vishnu Yantram, something subtle but powerful starts to happen. Dharma begins to reawaken within. Dharma is not merely morality or ritual, it is the natural rhythm of truth that sustains all life, the same order Rita, through which Lord Vishnu upholds the universe. The yantra becomes a mirror that reflects this cosmic order back into the devotee's mind and actions. Through daily contemplation, the geometry of the yantra, its Bindu, center point, interlocked triangles and outer square begins to influence the thought patterns of the meditator. The mind, which is usually scattered in many directions, finds a single focus in the Bindu. This point acts like a magnetic center, pulling all restless thoughts inward. The turbulence of desires and doubts slowly quiets, and the mental energy that was wasted in overthinking gets reorganized into purpose and clarity. As this focus deepens, Vishnu Tattva, the principle of preservation and order, starts to awaken in the consciousness. The devotee begins to act with steadiness, discrimination, and compassion. Impulsiveness gives way to reflection. Selfishness turns into service. The dharmic sense, knowing instinctively what is right, pure, and balanced, becomes clear. This is how Dharma establishes itself naturally through yantra sadhana, not by external rules, but by inner awakening. The mind scatter is arrested because the energy of manas or mind begins to flow in harmony with prana or life force. The sacred geometry aligns both, drawing them into the silent current of Śrī Vishnu's patience. Over time, meditation on the yantra cultivates a deep intuitive sense that every thought and action should support harmony, truth, and compassion, the very qualities of Bhagavan Vishnu. Thus, through the Śrī Vishnu Yantram, Dharma ceases to be an abstract idea. It becomes an experience, a quiet strength, a natural discipline, and a radiant peace flowing through one's life, just as the Lord Himself preserves the universe with stillness, order, and endless grace. From geometry to sound, the Śrī Vishnu Yantram is the form of balance. It is the body of divine order made visible through sacred geometry. The Om Namo Narayanaya mantra is the sound of that same balance. It is the breath that animates the body. And Śrī Vishnu Himself is the soul, the living presence that gives meaning and consciousness to both. When a devotee chants the mantra in front of the yantra, sound and form begin to interact. The vibrations of the mantra awaken the dormant geometric energy of the yantra just as breath animates a still body. Each syllable of the mantra Om Namo Narayanaya strikes different energetic points within the yantra structure. The Bindu responds to Om, calling forth creation's stillness. The six-pointed star responds to Namo, symbolizing surrender and balance between spirit and matter. The outer lotus and square respond to Narayanaya, radiating divine protection and preservation. This synchronization of sound and form manifests as living dharma within the devotee's field of experience. The mantra's vibration purifies the inner world, while the yantra's geometry stabilizes it. Together, they build a bridge between the individual's limited consciousness and the infinite awareness of Śrī Vishnu. Through this union, the seeker's inner chaos is dissolved and replaced by the Lord's calm order, the very essence of Vishnu Tattva. As this sacred dialogue deepens, Dharma begins to manifest clarity in decision, stability in emotion, and harmony in daily life. The yantra becomes the field through which Śrī Vishnu's protecting energy operates. The mantra, being the breath of that field, moves like a current of light through it, averting unseen dangers, reducing karmic turbulence, and restoring peace where imbalance once existed. Thus, form or yantra and sound, the mantra, are not separate tools. They have two halves of one living presence, the body and breath of Śrī Vishnu. When both are united through love, discipline, and remembrance, the soul of the mantra, Śrī Vishnu himself, awakens fully within the devotee's heart. In that sacred moment, geometry becomes grace, sound becomes protection, and life itself becomes a reflection of eternal dharma. The mantra of peace, Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya means I bow to Lord Narayana, the one in whom all beings rest. It comes from the Narayana Upanishad. Om, the sound of creation. Namo, I bow or I surrender. Narayana, the eternal refuge and support. Chanting it calms anxiety, reduces ego, and fills the mind with steady peace. Why this mantra is for everyone? Namo Narayanaya is a Nama Mantra, name of the Lord, open to all. You can chant while walking, bathing, or resting. It only heals, it never clashes. It cools inner stress, balances the water element, and opens the heart to compassion. For a restless mind, it is a gentle stream of peace. For a seeker, it becomes a bridge to the Guru and to Bhagavan. The secret connection, mantra and yantra. When you chant Om Namo Narayanaya in front of the Śrī Vishnu Yantra, they work together. The mantra gives the sound and the yantra gives the shape. This brings protection on the outside and surrender on the inside. Over time, your home begins to feel like Vaikuntha, a place of clear mind and quiet joy. Start simple, chant once, offer a tulasi leaf, light a small diya, and let Śrī Vishnu steady your heart. Balance isn't something you find, it's something you remember. Through the Vishnu Yantram and Om Namo Narayanaya, the Lord helps us remember gently and always. Invite the preserving grace of Lord Vishnu into your life. With sacred geometry and holy sound, may your path be steady, your heart peaceful, and your home shine like Vaikuntha. A simple 6-step Pūjā to integrate the yantra, mantra, and the deity. This simple worship can be done daily or weekly to connect Śrī Vishnu, the Vishnu Yantram, and the Om Namo Narayanaya mantra into one living experience of grace. 1. Preparation, Ācamana and cleansing. Begin by bathing or washing hands and feet. Sit facing east or northeast, where the energy of Śrī Vishnu flows strongest. Clean the place with a few drops of Gangajal or clean water and light a ghee diya. Mentally invite purity and calmness into the space. 2. Establish the yantra, Āvahana. Place the Śrī Vishnu Yantram on a clean wooden base covered with a yellow or white cloth. Offer sandal paste, tulasi leaves, and a small flower. Close your eyes and pray. May the divine presence of Śrī Vishnu awaken within this sacred form. May his order, patience, and grace fill my home and heart. If you have received a mantra from a guru, silently remember your guru's presence. Their consciousness opens the doorway for the Lord's energy to enter the yantra. 3. Prāṇa-Pratiṣṭhā, invoking life energy. Chant slowly and with devotion. Om Vam Vasudevaya Namaha. Om Vam Vasudevaya Namaha. Om Klim Narayanaya Namaha. Om Klim Narayanaya Namaha. Visualize golden light entering the yantra from your heart and from the Guru Parampara, filling it with awareness. Imagine the yantra beginning to radiate alive, awake, and listening. 4. Main mantra japa or sound awakening. Now chant Om Namo Narayanaya slowly for 9, 18 or 108 times. Let each repetition flow through the yantra as if your voice is breathing life into its geometry. See the yantra as the body, the mantra as the breath, and Śrī Vishnu as the soul within it. This unites sound and form, invoking the preserving power of Vishnu Tattva. 5. Contemplation, Dhāraṇā on Vishnu consciousness. After chanting, close your eyes and visualize a deep blue light expanding from the yantra into your heart. Feel anger and fear melt away. Let clarity and steadiness rise. In silence, reflect on Dharma, your right path, your duties, and how you can act with compassion and truth. This is the moment when the Vishnu energy begins to correct and realign your inner order and cosmic order. 6. Gratitude and closure. Prarthana and Naivedya. Offer a small fruit or sweet or simply a tulsi leaf as gratitude. Pray softly, O Śrī Vishnu, may your grace preserve my mind in peace, my home in harmony, and my actions in dharma. Let this yantra ever remain awake in your presence. Bow with folded hands and let the diya burn out naturally. When practiced with sincerity, this 6-step puja integrates form, yantra, sound, mantra, and spirit, the deity, into one current of divine experience. Over time, it establishes Vishnu consciousness in the home, bringing protection, patience, and the quiet strength to live by dharma in every circumstance.